Hey everybody, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. My name's Matthew and I post videos every Monday and Friday, so if you love the tingles, then hit that subscribe button because you are in the right place. Today we will be looking at the murders of Lin and Megan Russell, which is a little bit of a local case to me, although I didn't know about it. This was a suggested video, so if you have any other suggestions of cases you would like me to cover, then don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. And yeah, let's get into this case. So on the 9th of July 1996, 3 bodies were found in a little leafy corpse beside a country lane in Chillenden, Kent. Dr. Lin Russell, 45, and her 2 daughters, Megan, 6, and Josie, 9, had all suffered brutal head injuries caused by a blunt instrument. They had been tied up, and their family dog, Lucy, was also found dead nearby. Their head injuries were so bad that Lynn's husband and the girl's father, Dr. Sean Russell, was initially told that they had all died. Unbelievably, Josie was still alive, albeit barely. She was transferred immediately to King's College Hospital in London, where she was saved. In years to come, she made even more miraculous recovery. Oops. Let's go. The 3 Russells had been returning on foot from a swimming gala at about 4:20 p.m. along a country lane. When a car passed them, Josie even recalled waving to the driver in the car. As they walked further down the lane, the car was parked across the track, and the driver, a man, got out of the car with a hammer. He demanded money from them. Lynn had left her money and purse at home, but offered to go back to the house with him to get the money, which he refused. She then told Josie to run to the nearest house to get help. The man grabbed Josie and hit her on the head with a hammer, but inflicted only a slight injury. He then walked the 3 of them and the dog off the track into the tense corpse. Is it corpse? Where he had tied them up with strips torn from Josie's blue swimming towel, a bootlace, and a pair of tights. He then hit Lynn on the head at least 15 times, causing severe head trauma and killing her. Josie's skull was smashed. Brain tissue was protruding from the wound behind her left ear, and there were several lacerations to her skull. There was extensive tearing to the covering of her brain. Megan had been hit at least 7 times, suffering massive skull fractures with exposed brain tissue. The attacker then got into his car, drove back along the way he had come. About half an hour after the murders had taken place, a man was spotted a mile away from the murder scene in an agitated state. The string bag containing bloody towel strips was dropped in a hedgerow, and the man then left the vicinity. At the first instance, the prosecution's case rested on 3 main planks. Firstly, a number of sightings by local witnesses. Secondly, forensic evidence tying him to the scene of the crime. And thirdly, 3 confessions made by stoned to prison inmates whilst detained and awaiting trial. The first plank saw varying descriptions of the man they saw that afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Isabel Cole saw a clean-shaven man of medium build wearing a dark blue baseball cap and carrying a hammer. Half an hour later, Anthony Rayfield saw a beige car parked with the boot open. The man standing next to the car was small, light-haired and wiry, aged between 35 to 40, and appeared agitated. Nicola Burchill saw a beige car at 4:45 p.m. and its driver was round-faced with chubby cheeks. Pauline Wilkinson saw two men near the murder scene. One had short blonde hair while the other had dark hair. Josie herself recalled that the car was brown or red, clean and driven by a single man. He was blonde, clean-shaven, about 25 years old, and the same height as her father, around 6 feet. Stone is 5'7" and podgy. He was also 37. His hair was brownish and receding. He had a light beard and he drove a white Toyota. It's hard to know what to make of the various witnesses' testimonies, save that there can be little reliability placed on them. The second blank was based on forensic evidence found at the scene. The troubling fact was that there was very little of it. 4 hairs were taken from the beach shoes belonging to Josie. Red fibres were found on and around Lin's body, and more red fibres were found on the pair of blue tights used to tie up one of the girls. A bootlace, also used to tie the girls, was found, and there was a single blood-stained fingerprint on their lunchbox. Tests showed that it was not Stone's fingerprint. None of the fibres or hairs belonged to Stone, nor to the members of his family or his acquaintances. The prosecution argued that the bootlace was a common component of the drug addict's equipment. It is used to tourniquet, tied around the arm to raise the veins for intravenous injection of heroin. It is pulled tight with the teeth, therefore there should have been saliva stains on it. There were saliva stains, however DNA testing showed that there were not Stones. The final and crucial plank of the prosecution's case rested on the testimony by Stone's associate, Lawrence Calder, Calder's girlfriend, Cherie Batt, and 3 supposed confessions to various inmates. Calder, a regular drug user and habitual criminal, alleged that Stone had turned up at his house the day after the Russell murders at around 10:30 a.m. Stone was driving his white Toyota and had spots of blood down the front of his t-shirt and a large area of blood on the groin. Calder's testimony disintegrated under cross-examination. He was hopelessly confused about the dates. He could not even remember which month it was that Stone came to their house. Bat then took to the stand and contradicted her boyfriend's testimony. She said that Stone had come to their house 2 or 3 weeks before the 24th of July 1996. The murders were committed on the 9th of July 1996, and she only remembered a few spots of blood on his t-shirt. These were unconvincing and contradicting testimonies from 2 unreliable witnesses. The 3 confessions were crucial. Mark Jennings had been jailed for life for the murder of a barman. Stone asked Jennings what he thought of the Russell murders and went on to suggest that Jennings should have killed the witnesses in the pub murder. Stone would kill anyone, including women and children, if it would keep him out of jail. However, this conversation was totally denied by Stone, and it later came out in court that Jennings' sister had been paid £5,000 by the son with the promise of a further £10,000 after the trial if Stone was found guilty. Barry Thompson, serving 2 years for dishonesty and intimidating witnesses, claimed that he and Stone had an argument, and Stone said, "I made the mistake with her, Josie. I won't make the same fucking mistake with you." Damien Daly's evidence was the most damning. He claimed that he and Stone had communicated by speaking into a heating pipe connecting their 2 cells. Stone had apparently started talking about smashing heads, breaking eggs. Then he said, "I would have been okay if it hadn't been for that slag. If that slag hadn't picked me out." He mentioned a dog, saying that the dog made more noise than the victims did. Finally, Stone mentioned swimming costumes, and had been aroused by sniffing the swimming costumes. Even with the lack of forensic evidence or credible witness testimony, the jury returned a guilty sentence after 15 hours of deliberation by a 10-2 majority on the 23rd of October 1998. They had been swayed by the supposed confessions by Stone to his fellow prisoners, and the judge gave him 3 life sentences. However, a week after the verdict and sentence was handed down, in an interview with the Mirror newspaper, Thompson denied that his conversation with Stone took place. "None of what I said was true, and I want to give a statement to a solicitor admitting I lied. Stone never said those words I attributed to him. I told the jury a pack of lies." Solicitors for Stone immediately lodged an appeal on the 6th of November 1998. He was granted the right to appeal on the 8th of January 2001, and on the 6th of February 2001, Stone won his challenge at a court of appeal. The 3 appeals judges allowed the appeal due to the unreliability of the key witness, Thompson, who admitted to perjury in a court of law. If a retrial was not ordered, Stone would be set free. Stone's counsel argued that a retrial would be inherently unfair due to the media publicity it received. Such has been the wealth of prejudicial material adverse to him and inadmissible in any criminal trial. The court quashed Stone's convictions but ordered a retrial. On the 5th of September 2001, Stone's retrial began at Nottingham Crown Court, and on the 4th of October 2001, Stone was found guilty of the murders of Lin and Megan Russell and the attempted murder of Josie Russell, again by a 10-2 majority. At this trial, Thompson's testimony was discredited and Jennings' evidence was not even used. Counsel for the defendant attempted to bring up Daly's heavy heroin use as proof of Daly's unreliability. However, the jury decided to accept Daly's testimony and returned the guilty verdict. His 3 life sentences were reimposed. The defense immediately appealed and in early January 2005 won the right to appeal again. However, on the 19th of January 2005, his appeal was dismissed, and in April 2006, he mounted an unprecedented legal challenge to halt publication of a report into his medical history before the killings, claiming that it represented an infringement of his right to privacy under the European Convention of Human Rights. In England and Wales, an independent inquiry is mandatory into any homicide by someone who has had recent psychiatric care. On the 21st of December 2006, a High Court judge imposed the longest tariff. He was legally entitled to impose on Stone's life sentence, the maximum 25 years before he would be eligible to be considered for parole. The Stone case highlighted several deficiencies in the laws on mental health in the United Kingdom and prompted parliamentary debate on the Mental Health Bill in 2007 that would amend the Mental Health Act of 1983. Stone had an untreatable personality disorder which had been diagnosed 2 years before the killings. However, he could not be legally detained because of his illness was classified as untreatable. His terrible alleged crime led to calls for powers to detain untreatable cases even if they have committed no crimes. This would provoke furious opposition from human rights and patient rights groups, who claimed that the bill, if it became law, would allow the enforced detention of people who are mentally ill, even if they've not committed any crimes, and also would mean the great numbers of mentally ill people who refuse medication could find themselves forcibly treated. The House of Lords in particular was in opposition to the bill, and it was of the opinion that it needed more safeguards for patients. Nonetheless, the bill became law in 2007 and was implemented on the 3rd of November 2008. Stone's trials and convictions also raised serious questions about the appropriate weight that should be given to testimony from unreliable witnesses, as well as the wider question of whether juries were really the best equipped to consider matters of guilt and innocence in the midst of widespread and intense media coverage. Exactly a year after the murders on the 9th of July 1997, the desperate police allowed the case to air on Crime Watch UK, a popular television show that shows reconstructions of unsolved and ongoing crimes. With the aim of gaining information from the public, the move seemed to have worked as the police received a call from Dr. Philip Sugarman, a psychiatrist who told them about his patient Michael Stone. Sugarman revealed that Stone had nightmarish fantasies that corresponded to the murders. A week later, Stone, 37, was arrested and held in Canterbury jail. On the 6th of October 1998, he went on trial for the murders of Lin and Megan Russell and the attempted murder of Josie Russell at Maidstone Crown Court. The investigation over the course of the next year, pressure mounted on the police to find the perpetrator of the brutal murders. They interviewed 9,000 people and took 1,000 statements and identified a number of suspects. One person was arrested but was released without charge. Josie and her father Sean had moved from Kent to start a new life in North Wales in December 1996. Her injuries left her with speech problems, and she had little to no memory of the attack. On the 1st of May 1997, she had recovered enough to give an interview to the police. However, leads were unpromising or non-existent. On the 6th of February 2022, more than 25 years after the murders, notorious killer Levi Belfield allegedly admitted to the attack. We've done a video on Levi Belfield. Allegedly admitted to the attack to Michael Stone's lawyers. Michael Stone's lawyers received a written statement that included the details about what he was wearing and how he made his mistake. Belfield is currently serving a life sentence for murdering a 13-year-old girl in 2002. He has also been found guilty of another murder and an attempted murder. A missing shoelace was found in police storage in 2020 that could provide important DNA evidence and link Belfield to the scene of the Russell attack. Wow. Oh, this is interesting. What do we think? Do we think Levi Belfield was connected to this attack? Or I think that it is Michael Stone. I mean, if this evidence was found in 2020, they would have had the results, so I'm assuming his DNA wasn't a match or wasn't connected on that item. So, yeah, I don't know. It could be Michael. It could be Michael. Because I mean, they have evidence, but I'm not sure if the evidence. Yeah, I don't know. But this was an interesting case, and so close to my doorstep, and I had no idea that this went on. So thank you so much for your suggestion of doing this case. I do love doing the cases you guys suggest. They're always so interesting and horrifying. But I enjoy finding out more about stuff that's happened. The solved cases and the unsolved is all really interesting. So thank you for sharing these cases with me. And I hope you found this video to be super relaxing. And I hope you guys are asleep. Fast asleep now. Anyway, I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys.